Welcome back to the NCUT movie review, and today we have one battle after another. This is by far the most anticipated movie of the year. 98% on Rotten Tomatoes to start this off, and I forget watching these films how good of an actor Leo is.
If you can't answer what time is it, I cannot give you the rendezvous point. This is a key tenet of the rebellion fact. I'm surprised you can't name it. I don't know if you are who you say you are.
When you put my man in a movie that he cares about, a movie that's actually well written, well thought out, he is unreal. And it feels like as well, we haven't seen Leo on the screen very much in the last few years. So when he does bob up, you go, oh, I want to watch this because it must be something good if Leo's being involved in it. We know Leo likes to get very political in his personal life, so I think he's trying to make movies that are also like that now. This movie, you can go into it and you can see lots of political side of it, or you can go into it and watch it as just a funny-ass, action-packed movie with a surprisingly good humor about it, and you will enjoy it.
It really does have some surprising humor.
So funny.
I didn't know anything about this film going into it. Didn't know what it was about. It obviously it is a little political. It probably attains to most people politically. Red or blue, doesn't really matter. And then it goes into like the humor in this was insane. Like you would move from scene to scene so fluidly. It didn't feel like it was bogged down in any parts. It was kind of like, what the happening here? It was a lot of like at the opening scene here. Talk about like a lot of bogged down parts. The opening scene was so goddamn weird that I was like, where can they go from this?
Yeah, exactly.
Even like when you see the opening scene with Perfidia, her like control over the scene was very like influential straight away. I thought it would be Leo to be the front and center of that, but it wasn't at the start, and then it eventually did become him, which was good. But yeah, some of the supporting actors were incredible, like Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro is the most underrated actor, I think, in the world. He is so good. We came away from this movie, like many movies where you see Benicio del Toro in, except for like Sicario maybe, where you think to yourself, I wish he was on the screen more, because every time he comes onto the screen, you're hooked. Because you just know it's going to be hilarious in his subtle way that he acts, you know. He never shows too much emotion, never shows too much anything. It's just a very mellow way, but it gets the point across, and it's hilarious. Especially in this movie where Leo is so over the top, paranoid, crazy, whatever you want to say, and then Benicio is just this calm sensei, like, get off the mat, Bob. It is so funny, the yin and the yang between them two when they're on the screen. Once again, not enough. And I think the same can be said when you put Leo and Sean Penn's character, Stephen J. Lockjaw, arguably the greatest name of any character I've ever heard in my life. When you put them two on the screen together, or them two in like concurring scenes, the difference between them, when they're arguably the same guy, hilarious. Yeah,
Benicio controls the screen almost every time he's on it. Like even with a person as big as Leo is, he controls it. And same with Sean Penn. Like when I didn't even know Sean Penn was in here, and when I saw him in the opening scene, you know how good of an actor he is when you can legitimately have a waking up scene and looking like he was waking up. He didn't look like he was like, oh, what's going on? He looked like he was dead ass asleep and then was woken up from his like trailer or something.
The only thing about that, why is he walking like that? Why is my man walking like that? Every single time he popped up on the screen, Stephen J. Lockjaw, the whole cinema started laughing because he'd just be doing this weird ass walk where he's sort of stumbling like around. His whole character was hilarious, the whole movie. I thought, surprisingly, with Sean Penn as well, who for most of his career, most of his life, so serious. Like can't even take a joke, you would think. And then you see a movie like this and you're like, okay, he can.
It's almost like he's got so much backstory that they just didn't even mention any of it in this. Like he's an ex-war veteran or something, and he maybe has a metal hip. That's what you can just like attain it to certain things. But
and he wants to be in this secret society called the, what is it?
I don't know, the fucking
He wants
Christmas.
to be in a secret society, you know, called the Christmas Adventurers Club, which look, that was another interesting take in this movie, which, like we said, you could come into this movie and you could walk away from it and it could be so politically derived for you. Like you could be like, oh, this is full political. Imagine the messages, like look at the messages they're trying to give from this movie. Or you can walk away from it and just be like, it's satire for the whole of the world at the moment, or especially the USA, how the USA is looking at the moment. So for us, we just took it away as like, they're probably real, these societies. Hilarious. That is exactly how they would operate.
It's like one of the scenes here, like talking about influence over the societies. One of the scenes here is the military is trying to fight back against these protesters, and then they just make one call. One of the guys who they knows on their side comes out of a car randomly and just Molotovs it so it can escalate things so that they can use force.
Like Lockjaw says, we need a reason to move in on the protesters, and then it cuts to two of his soldiers dressed in clad like protesters walking into the street, throwing Molotov cocktails to give that reason to move on the protesters. That is how it would be. 100%. I mean, everyone knows that political agitators are a real thing, especially in the last 10, 15 years where it's become to the forefront.
Forever.
Where everywhere you look now, there's protests. So to see that played out in a way that we all know is real, we all know that happens, was quite funny and also on point. This whole movie is just on point, and that's why it's some people, like we say, are going to come away and think, oh, yeah, fuck you to who this movie they think is made about, or people are going to come away from it and just go, how ridiculous is this? This is the way we're living at the moment.
I think that's the way I came away with it.
Yeah,
It was like, this is just so
agree.
ridiculous, and I thought it was satirical. I thought majority of the
100%.
film was just based on Leo trying to get his daughter back.
Yeah.
But then, there was all these other random like storylines thrown in, which were fucking great to watch.
yeah.
Every bit. Like, you see these random fucking cinematic scenes of you're in the front of the car and you're going over these hills in
Yeah,
like the
I love
Nevada
that scene.
desert, and then it like would pop up on you some of the scenes. So I don't know. The direction from this was incredible. Whoever was the fucking director of this.
And that's where we think, come from a point of view where we think this was satirical, because Brenda's in it. And then Leo's acting fucking crazy and paranoid, and he's like asking for the phone charger, and like arguably one of the funniest scenes I've seen in a movie this year, which isn't very hard because comedies don't come out anymore. But when Leonardo DiCaprio is looking for a phone charger for like 25 minutes in the movie, and he finally is about to get one, and Benicio del Toro is like, get off the phone, and he's talking to like the teenager in the shop, but Leo thinks he's talking, and he's like, oh, fuck man, I'm trying to get the charger, and then runs off. It's so funny. Like, that once again was another scene where you think, in most movies this feels like it could go for too long, but when you got masters of the game like Leonardo DiCaprio and Benicio del Toro at the helm, it's not too long. It was perfectly done.
Yeah, and that's exactly done through the cinematography, I noticed, because when you follow, like, the camera direction is following them. You're like a POV sometimes, and then you're following them. So it was like a one-shot camera of you weaving inside, Benicio del Toro's fucking absolute monument of a house.
Yeah,
You're going to 35 different rooms, and
the apartment.
60 families are living in there. So you're moving through all of it like a one-shot, it felt. So it felt like you were a part of their, like, behind the scenes almost, which that's why it felt like it wasn't too long at all, because you were in it. You were just locked in the entire time. Also, the wife, Perfidia, what a weird fucking role.
Yeah, I felt like she was just a little bit too full on for half the movie. Like, half the time I was cringing.
She felt like Denzel's Training Day. She was trying to like take some inspiration from that character. She was just full hood. Like, it was, and it made. I don't really know if it made sense to that character. If I'm honest, like, I thought you could have been maybe a little bit more, I don't know, maternal, because she was just like, fuck my kid, gone. It's like, stop being so like about yourself, and how about you just fucking look after your kid. But I mean, maybe that is a bit of the agitation that they're trying to push into her character. Could be. So.
I also thought the Christmas Adventurers Club, some of the language that they used was so funny when they were talking about like Mexicans, and the way that they said, like, the owner of the factory wants his little minions back. He uses a different word. You can use your imagination, but it's so funny hearing him say that. Like, talk about people like that were so beneath them, and you just think to yourself, like, is there really people that talk like that in this world? And there probably is. And I think that's why the Christmas Adventurers Club was such a funny little side story narrative to have in this movie, because it probably is real, eyes wide shut type shit. It was just funny the way they did it.
Yeah, I agree. So I reckon if I'm going to rate this movie overall, it's going to be fucking 98, like Rotten Tomatoes did. It was such a good fucking film, man. There was nothing wrong in terms of pacing, cinematography, acting. All of it just felt like you were locked in. And I didn't even write anything down in my notes. That's how locked in I was. So I think if I'm doing that, it has to be highly rated.
Yeah, I mean, one of the turn-offs for this movie for some people come from the outside in might be, 2 hours, 50 minutes. It's a bit long for me. But honestly, it does not feel like that, because the pacing of the movie is done so perfectly. The way Leo acts, and honestly, the way Leo is so frantic in this movie, and then the way they're able to throw in different characters like Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn's character, and even throw in his daughter in multiple scenes, it just changed the pacing up the movie so well that it felt like the movie did not go for nearly 3 hours. It felt like it was nice and quick, and you were hooked the whole time. One of the best movies of the year. Up there for me was Sinners. Arguably, the hype is real.
Anyway, guys, been another NCUT movie review. Peace, we out.
Peace.
NCUT.
Don't forget to hype this shit up.